Well, hello everyone, it's Tech Mood here, and I'm going to show you how to create simple fruit series. So we're going to create an apple, some burgers using Aseprite. Now, if you're starting out in pixel art, you can check out the tutorial here on YouTube on my channel Tech Mood, where I teach you how to build a submarine from scratch using Aseprite. It's a 5 video part series where we're going to start with our line art all the way to creating this submarine. And with that being said, let's get over and create our apple. So I'm going to go to File, New, and I'll create a 16 by 16 pixel retro style document. So here we have that, and we can drag the preview window to the right here, and we can see we have this. So what I want to do is to use a black outline, and with this outline, I'll just think about how my apple is going to be, and I'll try to create it within this confined space. So here on the left, I'll just drag a few pixels like so, and I'll do 2 steps down, 1 step, another step, and this is going to be my bottom base. So I'll try to repeat the same process here. I'll just go up a bit, 1 step, and then we can go down here. Oh, that's a mistake. So I'll just undo, and I'm using the brush tool to do that. What we can simply do is to click on the marquee select and drag a selection around this shape, and then just shift everything to the left so we can, continue working like so. So I'll just drag this down. Whoops. So in case that happens, you might want to use the line tool, but I think I'm cool with that. And I'll drag this here. And I'll also add these 2 nice little spots here. So this is going to be the base for our apple. Now, it's good to have a little stem here. So what I'll do is to just click on a stem, and I'll just do some staircasey, zigzaggy shape going up like that. I think that's a bit much, but yeah, that's good. And what we can do is just add our leaf here. So I'll just go over here and then do that, just to add some nice little pixels here that we're going to use to represent our leaf shape. And this is our leaf shape. So to fill this with a color, I'll go over here to the paint bucket tool, and let's pick this dark green and just fill this up like that. Now for the apple, what I'm going to do is to pick either the brightest or the darkest colors. So I'll use the darker value to fill this up. So if I select this red, I'll just go down here a bit. And if I click on this, this is going to be my dark value. So I'll slide that down a bit till it gets a bit dark and has some red in it. And I'll click on this. So this is going to be our first color, and I'll fill this apple with this color, right? Nothing really interesting, but this is where it gets interesting. We're going to start rendering our apple. Now, what I want to do is to begin to increase the brightness a bit. So I'll go over here and I'll slide the hue just a bit, and I'll push this up slightly. And let's take a look at that over here. So now that I have that, what I'll do is to start adding this value here to create a nice little shape. So I'll just go over here like that. Whoops. Now I'm still on that tool, so I'll hit B to go to the brush tool, and let's start adding some nice little shapes just to create a nice partition like that. And you can see how that's really looking now. And I don't like that color, and I believe this is still a bit bright. So I hit the eyedropper tool and select this and push this down a bit like that, and hit the G and then fill that up. I think that's a much more preferable color. And next, what I'll do is to slightly push this up a bit like that, hit this button so I can have that bright color. Now, if I go to the brush tool, I can start adding some of our lighting detail, right? So here, I'll just add some of this. And basically what I'm trying to do is just add a nice little curvy variation here. So I'll add here like that. So I can just start bringing this back like so, like that. So that's going to be the parts that's in light right now. And I'll just add just 2 more here like that. So next, I'll now begin to push this to make this slightly brighter. So what I'll do is to just slide my hue a bit and push this up a bit. And now we can see this is slightly brighter. So I'll begin to add more information here. I'll just get rid of that. And I'm also trying to create some nice little contrast within our shape like that. So I'll go over here. And let's not forget to add some of our colors back like that, so that it's all not in dark. So I'll just slide up a little bit, just add some subtle variation here. So with this one, I'm going to make this slightly lighter again. So I'll push this up a bit. And what we can do is just add and fill up this space we have like that. And what we can do again, so let's see what we're doing here. That's great. So let's fill this up. Let's brighten this up a bit, shift the hue, and let's just add this one here like that. And what I'm actually doing here is creating a nice little gradient between the darks and the light sections. So what I'll do is to make this slightly brighter. So I'll shift up here and push this towards green, and I'll just add some lighting info like that. Nothing too serious like that. And what I'll do is to go over here and I'll make this quite bright. And that's going to be one hot spot here like that. And this might not be the best apple out there, but at least we have a nice little apple shape. Now, what I noticed is I want this to be quite red for an apple. So what I'll do is to go over here to my magic wand tool and I'll select a specific set of colors like this one, right? So this is and I'll use the eyedropper tool to sample that. So that's the color we are in. So I'll just push this towards red a bit. And with the gradient tool, I can fill up this section here. So that's how we can quickly make changes and variations to the color. So even this one here, so let's use the magic wand tool, select this one. And what I'll do is to go to the eyedropper tool, select that, and let's push this bit towards red. And I'll use G for the paint bucket tool and fill that up. So you can see we have this one going towards red. And what we can do now is to just move around and add some of those alternating pixels to make this more interesting, right? So to do that, let's go over to the leaf. So I'll hit the eyedropper tool, select this leaf. And what I'll do is to go to the dark one and then hit the B tool, B button, and then add just a few pixels here. Pick something light just to represent our leaf like that. And let's take this dark one, which is the same one we're using. Let's use this one here like that. And that's going to be our leaf. Now for the stalk section, we can add some of this brown here. This one here. I think I want to make that a bit dark. So if I want to darken, let's just click that color and then go over here. HSV and then drag the value down a bit. And now you can see we have this dark value here. Just make a slight variation and then pick some of my colors here. And if we look at that, we now have a dark little apple. If we want this apple to be really full of life, we can really make it red. For example, I just want to fix this section. So I'll go to the magic wand to select this. Oops, magic wand, click that, select this section here, and let's push it up a bit. And then use the fill tool to fill this section up like that, which is not looking super great, by the way. So let's try that. Yeah, I think that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Yeah. All right, that's cool. All right, so this is our little Apple tutorial, and hope you're gonna have fun playing around with this. Now, ideally, if you want to create a nice little color palette, all you need to do is to select that color or use low spec to select colors you can use for your apple so you have something that's quite consistent. And also what I want to do is to make sure this has a nice little gradient around it. So if we use the brush tool, we could just add this shape to make it look more curvy like that. I think just one spot here is totally fine, just to make this more interesting to look at. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next fruit tutorial series. Don't forget to save your file, and I'll call that Apple 2. Peace.